In this video, you'll learn how to program an animation that would show us what would happen if the arch was made out of copper. To do this, you'll show the arch changing colors like it would when the copper reacts with different molecules in the air, like oxygen and water. You'll learn how to do all the programming through this video, and then you get to try it yourself on Scratch. Feel free to pause this video at any time so you can code along with us. To get started, press the blue See Inside button. Let's first become familiar with the areas of this page. Right here, we have what we call the stage. This is where your animation comes alive. Right below it, this is where all of our sprites live. Our sprites are just the characters that will be in our animation. In the middle, we have our menu. This has all the blocks we use to program, along with the costumes for your sprites, and any sounds you want to add to your animation. And then finally, we have our workspace. This is where you drag your commands and put together your code. To show the arch changing colors, we're going to use the costume feature in Scratch. To get there, you'll go to your menu and you're going to click on Costumes. Here you'll see all of the costumes we've built out for the arch. Each of these costumes would represent the color the arch would be after a certain number of months or years being exposed to the air. For example, if you look at the copper arch, the arch would stay this color for about 4 months before it starts to change to this red color. Now in our animation, we're going to want the arch to switch its costume by itself. So to do this, let's go find a command that will do that. Click on Scripts, and under the Looks tab, go down to where it says Next Costume. When you click on this command, you'll see that it switches to the next costume. Let's drag this block into our workspace and see what we can do with it. So as we go to next costume, like I said, it just circulates through the different costumes. Let's have it start on the copper costume. To get our costumes to change, we're going to add this to our existing block, and we can just add a couple of next costumes. Now our command is when the green flag is clicked. Let's see what happens. Oh, let's try that again. It's really hard to see the different types of costumes. Do you have any ideas for what we can do so we can see the different costumes of the arch? In the control setting, you'll find a block that says wait 1 second. Let's put that block in between our costumes to see if that makes it any better. So now we can see the different colors, but there's a few more shortcuts we can also take. We want our costume switches to happen at a separate time than when the green flag is clicked. So to do that, we're going to create a new event. Click on your Events tab in your menu. And we want the costume changes to start occurring when we click on the arch. So you'll grab the block that says when this sprite is clicked. Now we're going to want all of the blocks that change the costume to go right under when this sprite is clicked. Now, when we click on the green flag, the arch goes to its original stainless steel, but then when we click on it, it will undergo the color changes. As you saw, we didn't see all the costume changes that the arch has. So what we could do is we could go to Looks and we can put all of the costume changes and repeat the same blocks a bunch of times, or we can use something called a loop. You'll find this in the control section, and it's the repeat block. Now, what we want to repeat is the arch changing its costume and waiting 1 second. So we only need 1 set of blocks for this. I'm going to delete these 3 blocks over here. So I'm going to put next costume and wait 1 second inside our repeat loop. And I'm going to attach that to our event. And I'm going to change the number of repeats it goes through. So I'm going to pick the number 4. I wonder if that will be enough. So I'll click the sprite, click the green flag, click the sprite, it still doesn't go all the way to the end of the costumes. So now it's your turn. Find out what our magic number of repeats will need to be to get the arch to show 10 years of color change when it's exposed to the air, if the arch was made out of copper, of course.